First of all, when you first came to Towson in the mid-'70s, I'm sure the travel was a lot different then than it was when you left in the early 2010s.
Oh, Spiro, we can't even compare it. I know in football, for instance, there was one bus. In basketball, we had these vans, and we took two vans. And of course, I went with Vince Angotti, and Coach Angotti wasn't much on the driving, so I did a lot of the driving. But it wasn't until we went to a Division I program that they actually got a charter bus for the basketballs, and I think a second bus for football. Every once in a while, I see that Tiger bus now, with the Tiger wrap on it.
Right.
We didn't have anything close to that.
And I remember one time you and Glenn Smith accused me of driving recklessly on the way home from Syracuse.
Well, that's because, Spiro, we were going over this mountain and it was snowing and there was a lot of slush on the road. And you were doing your usual 60 or 65 coming down this mountain. And Spiro doesn't like to put a lot of space between him and the car in front of him. And you don't have to believe me, folks. You just call Glenn Smith and Glenn will give you an earful of Spiro's driving.
In 1998, we took a trip that I'll never forget to go to Maine. And we started off sitting in the Newark, New Jersey airport for about 6 or 7 hours. And from there, we flew to Boston, where we ended up having to spend the night in a Boston hotel, get up early the next morning to try to catch a flight. But Maine was under a state of emergency because of an ice storm. That was one of the worst trips of all time. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I remember this was a game. Now we're on a bus and we're going up 95 and traffic is just crawling. If it's not stopped, it's crawling. And it's snowing like anything. And I'll never forget this incident. So we get to a point where we have to, it's crawled, now it's stopped. And there's a rap on the door. And the bus driver opens the door and it's a woman. And she says, please let me use your bathroom. And the driver said, I'm sorry, ma'am, I can't do that. And she shut the door. Well, I happened to look out the window and just about that time, she's dropping drawers right there and using the bus for cover, But I mean, when the weather got nasty up there, it really got nasty. We never beat Maine in Maine. And we always played in that Alphons Center, which is their arena, rather. That was their ice hockey arena. But I know you always complained because your feet used to get cold. They'd put that wood floor over the ice. Spiro didn't like that too much. Folks, Spiro, as Spiro said, we traveled for many, many years together. And he likes to keep it about 80 degrees in the room. So it gets a little bit chilly, a little bit cold. Spiro doesn't like that.
And Pete, he was born up in the hinterlands of New York State. And if it's above 50, Pete thinks he's in the Bahamas.
That's right. That's right.
Well, the other thing I remember is it might have been the last year that Coach Truax was with the Tigers and we're playing up there. And he got thrown out of the game. He got 2 technicals. And I remember the second technical, he looked at the referee and he said, when did you join the Black Bear Club? And that was it. Coach Truax was gone after that.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, hon, I'm going to order some pizza for the kids.
Or order Subway. We ate foot-long subs all the time growing up.
They ate it so much, Dad opened one up in the shed.
What's in the turkey breast?
Turkey breast.
Interesting. What's in the Italian BMT?
You come here every day.
Good food that's good for you, but good for you. Now get a free footlong when you buy 2. And order ahead for quick and easy pickup. Because it's footlong season. And
then Pete and Mike Gaffigan, Senior Associate Athletic Director, he's been waiting for this for a long, long time. January 26, 2011, we get on the bus, the Towson Center at about, 1:30 maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock to make a 45-minute to an hour trip to Fairfax, Virginia.
Right. Well, actually, Spiro, we didn't leave till 3 o'clock.
Okay, 3 o'clock.
The weather wasn't that bad in Towson. It's only about 70 miles to George Mason. And we were doing pretty good until we got to the Capitol Beltway. And then it started to snow, sleet, and just crawling along the Capitol Beltway. After it got to be about 6:30 or 7 o'clock, Pat had Jim Neal call George Mason and say,
Pat Kennedy. We have to clarify. Pat Kennedy.
Pat Kennedy, I'm sorry, Pat Kennedy and Jimmy Neal. I don't think we're going to be able to make that tip-off. So they rescheduled it for 9 o'clock. Well, 10 o'clock, and we're still nowhere near George Mason. So Pat decides we're going to find a hotel. And we got off the main road. Remember this? We got off the main road onto this ramp. And this ramp had this, you go down, it had a dip in it, and you go up to get to the next main road. But we got to the bottom of the ramp, and that was as far as we got. I mean, the bus's tires were spinning. I got the smoking and everything. So Pat goes and tells the driver, hold on a minute. And they had this coat. It was one of these long frock tombstone cowboy coats. Remember that?
It was tan colored.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. And it was almost down to his ankles. So he took the coat and he put it under the rear, one of the rear tires, wheels. And then he told the bus driver, all right, give it a go. And the bus driver hit the gas, and within a millisecond, Coach's coat is in shreds. It's all over the ramp. You know, and Pat kind of looked at me and said, well, that didn't work, did it?
It sure did.
No, it sure didn't. So, you know, I'd often wondered what Pat's wife, Jeannie, thought of that coat. Was she happy, sad, glad, or mad that that coat was gone? I don't know.
Well, the other thing I remember was at one point, the bus driver asked us all to get off the bus.
Yeah.
Maybe if we all got off the bus, he could get it going. We had a freshman named Dre Connor who was from Florida. And he's standing next to me, and it's snowing like crazy. He gets on the phone with his mother, and he starts telling her, Ma, it's like the end of the world. I think we're all gonna die.
Yeah, yeah.
Just,
Yeah, he'd never seen snow before. Yeah.
He had never seen snow before in his life.
I wrote a piece and posted it on the website, and it talked about Pat's coat and Dre seeing snow for the first time. And lo and behold, USA Today gets a hold of it. And I know that the CAA reprimanded us for not getting to the game on time. That was, you know, Yeager, and I never really appreciated that. He didn't have to show up in USA Today. But we made national headlines, and so did Pat's coat.
And I have people that still ask me about Pat's coat.
Yeah, well,
There are probably shreds of it still on that exit ramp somewhere.
that's right. That's right. Hey, sometime we got to talk about a 1994 Charleston Southern football game. We have to talk about the night before, the night before the game. We went to a James Taylor concert.
You got about a minute, Pete. Go ahead.
Okay, well, 1994, we go to Charleston Southern, and we walk. It's a Friday afternoon. We walk into the hotel lobby, and some guy's giving out these James Taylor tickets to the Coliseum. So, hey, yeah, we'll go. So you and I and Dino went. And we get into the Coliseum there, and they have refreshments. And Dino says, how about a beer? I said, great. So we all walk up, and I get my beer. Dino gets his beer, and they want to see some identification from Spiro. They didn't believe he was 21. Well, he shows them identification, you know, Spiro. Shows them the identification, and they give him a little yellow bracelet that he had to wear. I always, you can't tell your age. If you want to go to the circus and you get to that guy, I'll guess your age. You want to take Spiro with you because you'll never guess his age.
Well, and the other thing I remember from that game is a storm pops up right before game time, and they didn't have a real press box. They had just a building, a tent really, and rain's coming in sideways. The sports information director, he's just standing there, and all the equipment's getting wet. And he looked at the two of us, and he says, "I'm on medication. Let this bother me."
Well, Dan Crowley threw 5 touchdown passes that day, and we won 51-0.
That's right. Pete, always great reminiscing. We'll do it again in a month. We'll talk Tiger basketball as we get ready.
All right, sounds good.